What is she doing?
This nature raises several evidentiary and admissibility issues. Relevancy, hearsay within hearsay.
Ayo gang, so we back with another reaction video. YNW Melly update. The original done by your boy Cuff Boy. Obviously he got his content from Law and Crime. Could have went over there too, but we fuck with Cuff Boy. So support, drop a like, drop a subscribe. Why am I, what? Oh, I'm on a whole different channel. Oh, jeez.
YNW Melly had a status hearing today where the judge ended up denying
Make sure you
bond.
subscribe.
We don't get to see it on video because the stream
Give
was
him
very
a whole
short
new
and pointless,
like.
sadly. But his defense team also filed 253 pages among 13 motions to suppress
his hair look crazy, son.
Among sadly. But his defense team also filed 253 pages among 13 motions to suppress for the Broward County, which requested the exclusion of illegally obtained evidence, they say. Among the 13 motions include unlawfully seized evidence in YNW booking email, 100K tracks management email, an iPhone X cell phone, a T-Mobile cell phone, the GPS data and cell phone records of Melly's phone number, Melly's Instagram account, his Facebook account, and a Snapchat account. So yeah, a lot to go over with all the motions. It gets pretty hairy, so if you're new to my channel, subscribe. From my Twitter and Instagram, let's get right into it, boys. Get the hair in a different type of style here. I don't know what's going on. Alright. Got some gold glasses on.
It's not a style, bro. Let me tell you, as somebody who had dreads and had to cut them, bro, my dreads was like down to my butt. It got really long, son. I was growing it for like 8 years. It got long. It got so long I started cutting it off. Like every year I started cutting pieces. I cut the sides at first, then I cut a little at the back, then I cut a little more at the back, then I cut a little more at the back, and I put it up to like a real. Then I cut off some of the dreads, then it grew back out and it still was heavy. Then I cut the whole thing off, man. But I can tell you, this dude right here, this is not a hairstyle, son. That's when your hair undone, right nappy, crazy nappy. He might have to cut that off. Yo, terrible.
I know I'm a little nerdy over here, right? Like I look like a nerdy white boy. He's looking real nerdy. Oh man, I don't know what this stream is though. It's only a 30-minute stream and like nothing's happened, so I don't know if we're gonna get even much of like court footage at all today. They muted it. He's talking to his one of his lawyers right there. I don't recognize this guy. Is that his other lawyer? I don't recognize him. What the fuck is that? Yeah, I don't think that's his new lawyer. I think his name is Jamie. I don't think that's him. Bro look like someone's auntie. Seems happy though. I mean, look at that awkward side eye. He's searching for some family members and shit.
I like how you be doing your videos, son. But you be having time to be watching these lives.
I believe which like charge, I think is what he's asking. I'm not sure. If this is his new lawyer right here, Jamie Benjamin, I don't think that's the same guy that was standing there minutes beforehand. All right, here we go.
On the record, please, the state of Florida versus Devins, President Lieutenant Devins, his counsel, his state attorney. Yes, so you're indicating you want me to roll this sometime next week?
Yes, for a county call for Wednesday,
The 4th.
It should take 2 seconds.
Oh, there's his lawyer. Wasn't she just arrested?
Just scheduled something for next Wednesday, I believe. Couldn't really hear what it was, but.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Have a good day, Judge.
Thank you.
That was so loud in my ears, bro. This guy f***ing coughing. Holy sh**. That was the loudest thing I've ever heard. Bortland. We got Bortland Henry right here on house arrest. On Zoom. What the fuck? If you don't know who Bortland is, that's the guy who drove the bodies to the hospital. The driver of the whole situation that Melly was in. He's also charged, obviously, because they think he helped Melly in some way.
Crazy how he gets to be on house arrest, though.
Alright, where did he go? Bro, always happy as hell. So, the judge denied bond. That's what ended up happening. So, I'm going to go read my boy Bryson's Twitter to see if I missed anything, because he was tweeting out this entire time. Alright, so it looks like Melly's team right here filed this motion in limine which I believe it just means motion at the beginning of the trial, for phone, social media, and business records. This cause has previously been tried, resulting in a hung jury. During the course of the trial, the state introduced into evidence numerous exhibits involving evidence retrieved from cell phones and social media platforms such as Facebook, Instagram, iChat, and Snapchat. The evidence included, among other things, cell phone data, text messages, photos, images, direct messages, emails, chat, posts, and other communications. Okay. Counsel for the defendant has communicated with Assistant State Attorney Christine Bradley, who has agreed to supply the defense with copies of the flash drives that were admitted into evidence. Ms. Bradley, however, informed the defense that she is certainly not bound by the evidence that she submitted in the previous trial, and that she may not use all the exhibits previously used at the first trial, or may choose to use other evidence instead.
What?
Okay. Therefore, the defense is unable to prepare a motion in limine as to the evidence in the exhibits that the state intends to introduce, as the defense can only speak about those exhibits in general
But
terms.
is she doing that on
the
purpose?
Specific, for example, text messages, image, direct messages, or emails. So basically, the state attorney is being difficult, saying she don't know what she's going to use yet. She
Right.
didn't use anything. Don't put your eggs in one basket on stuff I used in the last trial, which is kind of smart, but you know, I'm pretty sure she has to disclose all this.
I was just about to say,
The
yeah.
introduction of evidence of the
At this point, the defense supposed to know everything that's coming. What you mean? You might use other things. We didn't get time to prepare. You were sitting down on other information. This ain't no game. This is not a TV show. What are you dragging out? You need to present your case. You know what I mean? Like, what are you doing? What is she doing?
This nature raises several evidentiary and admissibility issues. Relevancy, hearsay within hearsay. Authentication, probative value versus unfair prejudice.
Hearsay within hearsay, that's crazy.
Chat, image, poster communication, or at a minimum grouping or conversation. Now these teams being real specific, these must be evaluated on its own admissibility, because one chat may pose admissible, that does not make all chats or posts from the device or account admissible. So this is the same we saw in the previous trial. They're like trying to say that like because it's his phone, that everything on that phone is evidence.
True.
Which is kind of true in some sense, but the
You
most thing
can't
is, like,
say that.
no, there's proof that other people on his phone at some times, and even the name on like iCloud was Sack Chaser for whatever reason, which is one of the victims' names, which was weird. I don't know why. Maybe like Melly connected his phone to Sack Chaser's iCloud. Strange, but it was 100% Melly's phone. Like we all came to that conclusion at some point that Melly can't really lie because of the amount of selfies on there of him. Apparently there was child of him and his girlfriend too. Like you're not gonna have videos of you and your girlfriend on there.
That's
of,
what I
like,
said.
y'all naked doing
That's
stuff
what I
if it's not your phone, period, end of story.
That's what I said, because yo, I did a reaction video to when his ex-girlfriend came out, and well, when she just recently, actually, when she came out saying why she couldn't talk about this for so long, whatever, she said that she was 16 when they got together and he was 18, and I was like, yo, maybe she about to get this man in trouble, because she just confessed that they were 2 years apart. And let's be real, bro. Well, not that they were 2 years apart, because it's not that. It's 16 to 18. But it's a famous rapper, you know what I mean? Like, let's be real, bro. So I'm like, you know. So I'm like, yo, she about to get this man in trouble, because she now admitting that she was underage and he was overage. And then he had videos of them together on the phone at that age and at that time. She falls under the criteria of a child, bro. So yeah, it becomes that kind of footage. I'm just like, bro, she just knocked a nail in my boy coffin, bro.
Again, using text as an example, if the state is attempting to introduce a text from the defendant's phone, showing that the text came from the defendant's phone is insufficient for its authentication. Rather, the state must also show that the defendant was party to those texts. Oh my god, what a disaster. They tried to say this in the last trial, and it didn't work. They were like, you have to prove each message was actually from Melly, but you haven't proved that it's even his phone yet. But they kind of did, I'm going to be honest. It was weird how that went through. If the state cannot show that the defendant was party to those texts, not only is the
that's
text
going to be hard for them to do.
Grounds, but also on hearsay and relevancy grounds, which of course leads to the prejudicial effect far outweighing any probative value. Note, the court in Walker properly framed what the evidence purported to be. Pictures of the defendant's text message to the driver, not pictures of text messages from the defendant's phone. Oh, okay. So they were really particular about how they worded it. As noted above, the defendant does not know the specific text, Snapchats, Instagram, Facebook, cell phone information, or data that the state intends to use at trial. I don't think that's fair, actually. Dude, why doesn't the state just sit down one day? I feel like I could do this in like a day or two for the state. I'll do it for them, right? This is what they gotta do. Sit down, pick like the best 100 messages, and then screenshot the message, and then be like, explain the message at the top in one sentence. Isn't that what they're asking? And then send it over to them. I just solved the issue. It's like homework, dude. You could do that in like 5 hours. However, one of the flash drives provided by the state contains the defendant's Instagram account in its entirety, 280,000 pages, approximately 1,400,000 posts. I forgot that his Instagram was somehow 280,000 pages of pure nonsense of him messaging people. Apparently there's no showing that the defendant saw, reviewed, or responded to any post. The defendant physically and practically cannot delineate 1.4 million posts and why each is inadmissible. Segregating out a few posts is prejudicial to the defendant. This would highlight to the state of possible areas of concern that the defense has, even though the state may not have had the post on their radar. It is the state's burden to show admissibility, not the defense to show inadmissibility. The same is true with the multitude of the other phone downloads and information provided by social media
It's just too much for them to go through.
Provided by the various social media platforms and phone downloads. There are pictures, comments about smoking weed. All right, so we got suppression.
Here's what I'm getting so far. Based on what the defense is asking for, is like the defense is pointing out that the prosecution has brought forward so much evidence that it's like, it's obvious. We can all see that it's too much to be sorted out in this space of time. So it is unfair and inadmissible for the prosecution to pick out which evidence it wants to use, and it's unfair for anything to then therefore be admissible in court, because if they're picking out what they're going to use, then it's already biased. Because they're picking it out. They're picking out stuff that would strengthen their case. It's either they show all or none is allowed at all, because they're the ones choosing what is allowed. And if we show all, there's no way we could go through that many posts. So I get what you're saying. It makes sense. It's a valid argument.
Motion number 13 right here. Motion to suppress evidence seized and obtained pursuant to the search warrant signed by the Honorable Barbara Duffy on May 15, 2022. Any and all evidence seized pursuant to and in response to this warrant. Any information received by law enforcement as to YNW Melly booking@gmail.com. So I think this is basically they're trying to suppress any evidence that they got from that email, I believe. Let's see how they're thinking this, boys. There's no probable cause to believe that the existence of the grounds on which the warrant was issued. The affidavit is void of any information as to Detective Moretti's knowledge of Google, Google Talk, Google Drive, Google Photos, CASA, IP logs, Google Maps, or any aspect of Google. The affidavit does not state in any fashion how this Gmail account has any relevancy to the case. Okay, so that's what I was looking for. Let alone probable cause or a nexus. In the entire factual account by Detective Moretti, this Google account is not mentioned. So they're saying because the lead detective never brought it up in his affidavit that this account shouldn't be involved. I get what they're saying, but I mean, it looks like it's Melly's email. Let's be honest here, boys. The only relevancy of this account is that it has the name Melly. Well, there was also proof that Melly was, messaging Blood Gang members on this email, but, let's just ignore that. The affidavit contains information that was provided through the search warrant. All right. It also contains information cell phone mapping, which was derived from the cell phones. CDR information was gleaned from T-Mobile as fruits of the poisonous tree from the illegal search and seizure of the cell phone site. Information of Mr. Demons. They're saying because all of this was from the poisonous tree of the illegal search and seizure that it all needs to be thrown out.
Yeah.
Which, I can highly doubt it's going to happen. I'm going to be honest.
At this point,
it's not going to happen, but they're trying. They got to do their job. The affidavit.
But yeah. They're making valid statements though.
Cell phone by D. Polo,
but too much has been put out.
Recognize the pattern of communication as indicative of those gangs. This was complete hearsay. Well, not really, because we saw the screenshots of Melly emailing the people.
No, well,
I don't like.
See, here's what they're saying. It's hearsay because it wasn't entered through the proper channels. That's why they're saying it's hearsay, right? Like, that's definitely it, gang. And I get what you're saying, Cuff Boy. I know you're not watching this, but I get what you're saying in the sense that we saw the evidence, like we saw the emails, but like you admittedly just pointed out, they gotta try this. They gotta try these tactics. They gotta try these angles because they are valid angles. If you went about getting the evidence or submitting the evidence in the wrong way, then it's no longer submissible and it needs to be thrown out, and everything built on it needs to be thrown out. That's why if a lead witness or a lead informant or a lead snitch is somehow deleted, then the case is weakened tremendously or might even be thrown out because the case was built on that one person. You feel me? So it's the same thing here. They're trying to say all these things were brought up in the wrong fashion, so they should be thrown out. And I get what you're saying is that some of it did relate and we saw it, so it's too late to forget it. You know what I mean? You can't unsee it. So it's a predicament here.
Like the gang being involved in this trial anyway. I think it's bullshit. Because that's how they got the death penalty involved, was the gang being involved. Because they're saying it's in furtherance of a gang, but I don't agree with that at all. In the affidavit, as examples of what Detective Polo was using to form his opinion of the defendant's blood gang membership, conversations and text forms were made part of the affidavit. The affidavit is void as to how law enforcement was in possession of the defendant's phone and how they knew it was the defendant's phone. The affidavit states, therefore, the above information has led your affiant to believe that the probable cause exists that the items listed in property saw are evidence of the homicide. The warrant allows for the seizure for all stored Google Drive and Google Plus photos along with the metadata associated with YNW Melly booking at gmail.com. So they're basically saying that all this is irrelevant to the case. I beg to differ. I'm going to be honest. But, you know, they're trying. They're doing their job. They're trying to fucking get rid of shit. They did this last trial. It's just not going to work. I'm just being honest, boys. It's not going to work. I hate to be the bearer of bad news. Now here's another motion to suppress 100K tracks email, I believe. And here's another motion to suppress the iPhone X that I believe they're saying was Melly's phone. Now they're trying to suppress all the GPS and CTR records from the 9807 number, which is Melly's number.
They trying.
It's too good to be true. It's just not going to happen, boys. Hate to break to this team. A for effort, but the affidavit is completely void as to what Detective Moretti's training was and indicated above. And here's another motion for his Instagram right here. They just tried to suppress everything, bro. And now the Facebook, boys. The Facebook.
They definitely trying.
And now the Snapchat. And now the iCloud account. All right. And now the Twitter account. So yeah, here's Melly's mom's story right here. Nothing will kill my faith, not even this bond was denied. So yeah, the judge ended up denying the bond, which I told you was going to happen. So basically we got a bunch of motions to suppress the Facebook account, Twitter account, Snapchat, the phone number, the iCloud account, the emails, like a bunch of motions to suppress those, but I doubt they're going to go through. It's not going to happen. Too good to be true. Why didn't it go through in the last trial?
True.
Because it was probably admissible in some way. So I know they're trying to say it was an illegal search on how they got those, but I just highly doubt it. So there's no way it would have went through trial last time if it was illegal, in my opinion. But I just think realistically, I'm a fan of Melly's music as well. But
yeah, it already out there. It's not gonna go away now.
Over here. So,
I get you.
My channel, subscribe from Twitter, Instagram. Love you, boys. Peace.
All right, gang. Don't forget to subscribe to Cuff Boys, subscribe to myself, drop a like. If you like my drawing videos, help me get monetized, and I'm gonna make some more original content. And yeah, gang, have a good day. See you in the next one.